Chris was a victim of what's known as a clone firm scam, where scammers copy the name, address and website of genuine companies to fool would-be investors. But what Chris says galls him the most is that he would never have been sucked in if the initial advert had not appeared on Google.
Google and the likes of Google should do more checks on these websites and not just take the money and advertise.
Consumer finance campaigner Mark Tabor shows us just how easily Chris would have been hooked in.
They were targeted having searched on Google, and they would have seen an advert. You can tell it's an advert because it's got ads here and these come above the other search results. Chris would probably have clicked on the Compare Now button here, and that would have taken into a form where he would have been required to submit his personal details.
For Mark, the fact that search engines like Google are hosting these ads is a problem that needs really urgent attention.
Action's needed now. Billions of pounds is being lost a year. There's thousands and thousands of vulnerable victims. Action Fraud said they had 220 calls from victims who were suicidal, of whom they were so concerned they kept them on the phone until the police could reach them in the last 9 months of 2020.
Mark says there's a very simple way to stamp out this tidal wave of fraud. Get the big search engines to stop scam adverts, like the one Chris clicked on, from appearing in the first place. He believes that simple verification checks to ensure the business is genuine and that it complies with financial regulations could very quickly root these out before they go online. And that Google, as the world's #1 search engine, should be leading the way in tackling the problem.
It could be solved fairly cheaply and efficiently by just having people to check the advertisers and check the adverts before they go out. It's very, very simple, and that's what's so infuriating about it, because it's something that could be solved so quickly. I would happily put a team of people together to do it. I'd do it myself for nothing if Google would let us do it. This is damaging lives, it's ruining lives, and it's being done just so big tech companies can make more money, rather than spend a little bit of money verifying their advertisers and their adverts.
Well, with me now to talk through some of the implications of that film and all the other ways that fraudsters are trying to hack their way into your money is our technology expert, David McClellan. David, incredibly upsetting stuff in that report, quite scandalous, really. So what's your take on Google?
So the numbers when it comes to Google and adverts are extraordinary. It serves billions upon billions of adverts every single day across the world, and that's all computerized. Now, Google says that it blocked 3 billion bad ads last year. More than 120 million of those were financial services bad ads, like the ones that we just saw with Chris and Barbara. Unfortunately, bad ads still get through. And my take on it is very, very simple. If Google cannot be trusted that the ads that it places are verified, then it shouldn't be allowed to serve those adverts. Simple as that, and it should be held accountable for those adverts, because these adverts that Google is making money out of are ruining people's lives.
So are you really saying it's more than negligence? There's a bit of self-interest there.
You could go down that line. Is it in Google's interests, perhaps financially, to stop all of these, to stop these adverts, to, you know, scale its operations back? No, probably not. It does need humans in there. And, you know, in the VT, what Mark was saying was absolutely right. They do need humans to be part of this process to stop these bad adverts from getting through. Will that happen? Does my voice make any difference? Unfortunately, I don't think it does. Big tech is like this oil tanker out at sea, and it needs another oil tanker in the shape of government legislation to try and stop it and get it to change course for the better.
Now, one of the other things that people are getting more and more concerned about is whether they need to update their equipment at home, particularly routers.
Yes, so there was a report recently which said that there are millions upon millions of routers in people's homes. These are the devices that give us broadband throughout our homes that may be vulnerable to attack. Very often these are old routers that haven't been updated in many years. They might have weak default passwords and so on. So this has obviously frightened a lot of people, and people are thinking that the device that's giving me access to the internet may actually be letting bad actors, that word again, into our homes.
So what should they do?
Well, if you are concerned that you do have a very old router, maybe you haven't changed your internet service provider, changed your plan in a few years, and you're concerned that it might be vulnerable, then pick up the phone to your internet service provider. It may be that they can offer you a cheaper deal, a better, newer router that will give you better performance throughout your home, and also you'll be able to rest assured at night that it's not a hop-in point for bad actors into your home.
Good advice, David, as always. Thanks so much.